Dark Heart. I want to just little bit of lore. Don't know why I closed the top of my laptop.
Dark Heart.
Honestly, because this is about to run out of battery, and for some reason, this is only trickle charging, and I don't know why. Nice. So that's fun. But there's two lore topics I want to do. Yes. First one, right. Dark Heart. Dark Heart. That is, what's the name of patch 10.2.7?
Dark Heart.
Well, there it is. Now,
it's literally called Dark Heart, man.
What does that mean? Because Heart is usually...
It's a British television crime drama series.
Well, other than that, like a heart, it's either the
Dark heart thicket.
The heart of the people, or it's a bit more literal, her heart is full, or, the old god whisper. So a little bit of what I've been trying to puzzle out then. Because there's a lot of people, they see Dark Heart and they think, Azeroth, Heart of Azeroth, Dark Heart of Azeroth. And then you even take a look at Azeroth in the War Within cinematic, and she does not look like Azerite.
No, she looks like... There's something I know she looks like, and I can't remember what it was.
A less mathematical version of First One's magic.
Yeah, a little bit.
So,
Primal stuff.
What do you think is going on with Dark Heart? What do you fundamentally think's up with Azeroth? I actually, in my head, have a version that doesn't retcon the Titans or the Old Gods that much, but I want to hear yours first so I don't get polluted.
Can I go grab a beer first?
Only.
Yes.
Under the condition that you grab me another beer.
Sweet, perfect.
Then we're going to a friend's birthday party after stream.
Yeah, I'll leave you for a few seconds, but I actually have it up here. I'll tell you this bit, and you can run off with it when I'm away.
Oh.
In the Song of the Depths, there's a line. In the end of page 3, it is, "A dark heart left broken awaits the taking." And this is the one about this book. The Song of the Depths is the one that introduces the Harbinger.
Yeah.
So that is clearly, if that's a Harbinger quest line, Dark Heart is clearly referring to that. Now, what's a broken dark heart? What's awaits the taking? That follows a line: "A hunger lost to the ages will be reclaimed." Because it follows the line, it could be related. It may not be.
But so, while my gets the beer, the hunger lost to the ages reclaimed. I'm fairly sure we think that's Galakron's essence that made Galakron a hungry, hungry boy.
Almost certainly is, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like the essence of Galakron. Perhaps it's the essence that was pumped into Galakron, or, whatever happened there. But that's obviously what was stolen from, yanked out of Galakron by Eridikron, and then he goes through the portal into wherever the hell the portal goes with Xal'atath. And then we have this Dark Heart left broken. And that's the bit that I've been blue screening on, frankly, because the initial place, it seems obvious, but it's where everybody goes, and it is that this is Azeroth. That Azeroth is a Dark Heart left broken. And you then think about some other lines that have happened. The King of Diamonds has been made a pawn. No, fuck you. No, because you know what? It's that line about good science fiction in season 2 of Mythic Quest in its big RT episode.
Fucking never watched season 2 of that shit.
Yeah, you fucking jabroni, fucking boner.
Sorry, I'm too busy watching amazing shows
No,
such as
fucking kill yourself in real life.
I regret handing him that a beer.
Oh, shit.
God knows what he's going to say after he drinks it.
No, it's a good episode. It's a good episode. You know the character in Mythic Quest who's basically the weird alcoholic old man?
Yes.
It's his backstory. The episode's called Backstory.
It's really annoying because
season 2, episode 5.
I hated him and then I immediately liked him. There was a change in me that precipitated that. I'm like, fuck.
The episode's really good. But it's about how he was always kind of failing as a sci-fi author. In a way, he was just being like, this is cool and weird. Other authors no, the good science fiction, it feels inevitable yet unexpected. And if you're going to use that as a litmus test as to whether an older piece of foreshadowing works, I actually think The King of Diamonds has been made a pawn works really well.
It does, yeah.
Because at the time we all thought, oh my god, what if the old gods have got their juice up Magni? And now it's so obvious.
Squirted it up like a turkey been basted.
I have a funny story. Basically, my chemistry teacher, she didn't know what the word jizz meant. She thought it meant energy in the same way that spunk sometimes to people means energy. So whenever there was a girl in my class and she was falling asleep, this teacher, she just snaps, "Get some jizz up, you Samantha." The whole classroom fucking erupts because we're like, did she just say that? And yes, I don't know if that's the day where that teacher realized that jizz is also something else. It was very funny. Anyway, so yes. Initially, we were thinking, right? Oh, how are they going to corrupt Magni? How are they going to make it so that Magni will follow a voice, and that voice won't be the voice that he thought it was, therefore Magni will somehow do us all in because he is a old god pawn, or something like that. Because I think at the time, we thought that was primarily gloating. Right? We always thought that that was old god line forces gloating at us. But I think one thing that's became actually kind of clear is they're not gloating at us. So the King of Diamonds has been made a pawn. It's very literally like, yeah, he's kind of a pawn for the fucking Titan plan, isn't he? Heal the wounds. Oh, I wish I could do like Nicky or John's Scottish accent. It was great. So, King of Diamonds made a pawn serving Titans. Listening to the Dark Heart. Is he listening to the Dark Heart? Because the thing is, whenever you hear Azeroth's voice talking to Anduin, doesn't seem like a Dark Heart. That said, Xal'atath also sounds pleasant. So, Xal'atath's like voice isn't modulated or mixed in with a whole bunch of like shrieking and horror. So that's the thing that I've been trying to work out. And then obviously, Illyria is, she's hearing voices. But Illyria. Whoops. Illyria. Illyria is hearing voices, but not Azeroth voices.
Not the same ones.
So this is what I
actually, that implied to me that it was Azeroth speaking to her differently.
Now that's really interesting.
That's
to me.
what that everything I assumed was, because you don't have.
Does that not fly in the face of her established lore? When she said, when Azoth was dispatched, and she says that she hears, actually the chorus is kind of louder. She hears new voices.
Yeah. Those new voices don't have to be from outside.
Hence the heart is dark.
My theory.
Hence the heart is dark.
My theory was that those voices were almost copying FF14's homework and just being, there's more shit out there that Azoth was overpowering. So there's like extraterrestrial noise that she can hear louder now. That's what I immediately thought. But with the concept of a dark heart and because you think about it from a storytelling perspective, you're not going to say, Anduin and all of the great heroes of Azeroth are hearing Azeroth's voice. And also, Illyria's hearing voices, and they have nothing to do with Azeroth whatsoever.
And also, Illyria's a fucking schizo.
Yeah, you're going to say, Anduin's hearing Azeroth's voice, and Illyria's hearing a voice too, because you're telling a fucking story. What do you mean by that? And you mean that Azeroth's speaking to her, but it's a different version. So there's a part of that I think is... clearly Azeroth is not everything we think she is. She probably has a dark aspect to her heart, or a dark part of her heart. So that from corruption, or be that from like naturally who she is, because
she's everything.
Yeah, and this is where we think a few things where to make a very long story very short, cosmic balance is Azeroth being infused with all the powers. Because Argus got all felled up and became Deathman. He was not happy. Like, the Titans are clearly Order fills Titans, and then new Titans are born. They obviously have, like, a secondary part as well. Why was Amon'Thul so mad that Aluna here was planted? Because that would put life in Azeroth. He didn't like that. So there's a little bit of that. The Jiller wants something to do with it. So... Amir Drasil comes in, and Amir Drasil's planted, and Amir Drasil is very close to Azeroth. And clearly Azeroth's like taking it and empowered it, and through Amir Drasil she blessed the aspects. And that's Azeroth taking action after getting infused with a potent source of life and death. Life and death specifically, because that's the point of Amir Drasil, as opposed to just life, as opposed to just death. So that's where you look at the Sunwell being the major point of Midnight. You look at the point of the point of the sword being the thing that's been introduced again. It's that sword, not what sword anymore. And that sword was from a Titan who turned from order to disorder. So you could, if you wanted to go down the lengths of thinking about cosmic balance and the cosmic forces, you're sitting there going, well, Azeroth's got a big stick in her. That's order and disorder. She's got a big tree in her. That's life and death. she's got a big hole in her that's light, and the void specifically want to come for that light hole, assuming to fill it with void. And then you have to go, well, what do we... Oh, well, hang on. That's all six multiple... That's the 6 forces that will all have an actual impact on Azeroth and be infused into her. Because obviously the Sunwell is from... it's from the vials of the Well of Eternity, so it is part of her. I mean, Yggdrasil is grown into her deeply. The sword is jammed into her backside. So you're sat there going, right, well, she's clearly got a lot of stuff going on in her. So does that manifest differently? How does the consciousness of a Titan form? Does it form all at once? Is Azeroth actually basically hyper schizo? Is that the thing? Is Azeroth the multiple personality disorder? And the good part of her is speaking to the heroes, and there's another part of her speaking to that. That's a possible thing. That's exactly it.
What I've been thinking about, I guess kind of like my theory, and it's a theory that's a way of kind of helping, not helping. I don't want to say helping Blizzard. It's a theory that in my head, makes things fit in a way that is not as fictitious as they could be.
Yeah.
And it essentially is this. Azeroth is very nearly totally giga corrupted by the time the Titans arrive.
Yeah.
All the Titan machinery, because here's what I think is kind of interesting. Where's the Titan involvement in Argus? The answer to that is no one's ever fucking told us. And that's key. There is a Titan installation. It's called, well, we know it as the Burning Throne. We don't know its original name. But the point there is the Titans, the Titans were at Argus. They seemingly didn't need to order it, but they were there. And this is, actually, Matt, you saw me when I was halfway through my mental breakdown trying to get that video to work. So they made this temple where the world soul quite literally is.
Yeah.
That then gets turned into Antorus. But we don't know of any friggin' world machines there. From all we know, that was relatively grand world. Great arcane power, it's got the ley lines and all that jazz, leads to the Eridar society growing, right?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, the Eridar didn't know shit about the Titans, right?
So clearly, that world didn't need ordered.
Mm-hmm.
Why does something...
Didn't need, or they hadn't gotten around to it yet?
Well, there was clearly no old god corruption.
Yeah.
So it was grand as far as worlds go.
It was natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was natural, but the Titans had got there and Antorus was made. Because it's...
Well, would Sargeras not have built Antorus after?
I don't think so, no.
But the Eridar don't know shit about the Titans.
Antorus is deep within the heart of the world, and you're only able to get there because the planet's been cracked open.
Yeah. I had assumed that Sargeras built that as part of him building the stronghold.
That's not an Antorus. That's not what the Burning Throne looks corrupted, but it looks Titan.
Yeah, but he's a corrupted Titan, so he would build a corrupted Titan, please. Because I can't reconcile that with the fact that Velen doesn't have much to say about the Titans basically ever, and only ever talks about the Narrows.
There's always a Titan in his world.
Yeah, but you imagine they would be exploring Titan stuff and finding all that magic instead of their own particular brand. It seems like they were entirely natural and unmolested until the Sargeras showed up with the boys. That's what it seemed like to me.
I'm fairly sure the Titans were at Argus. Then left.
I have no recollection of that whatsoever, and it feels wrong. I can't say for sure. But I'm firing neurons around my brain and not finding anything. That's not how brain cells work. I have no idea how it works. But yeah. I definitely was under the assumption that it was all Draenei chilling on a natural planet. Until...
I'm trying to find where the stuff came out of my research because it was really fucking compelling.
Just fucking Warcraft Wiki and Taurus Let's find stuff out. Live. Yeah, it's entered from a crack, but that's because we bullshit up.
Hang on,
We entered from the crack
Look at
because
this.
the main gate blasted us. Like.
The fallen Titan Sargeras eventually found Argus and entrapped it in a prison of Fel at the Burning Throne, a Titan temple located in the heart of Antorus at the world's core.
Where's that from?
That is from 1,000 Years of War.
Hello.
Okay, that is from Warcraft Wiki.
Yeah.
Citation leading to 1,000 Years of War.
Hello. Knife. Put that in the Draenei Heritage Quest because I want to know if the Eridar had in any capacity knew the Titans existed there or any had explored that whatsoever. Thank you. Because that feels a little bit like, Because I would have imagined Velen would have said something with the Titans or the Nara in the interaction with the Titans.
There's no reason for him to have known. See, my original
Except
point,
for the fact that they were all over the fucking planet and building shit like.
Yeah, but he was in the middle. Didn't matter.
No, the point is, no, Antorus, we enter to the crack, but it has a big main fucking gate, like. We just can't go to the main gate because we'll get shot. Imagine BT, you know the crack we sleep inside of BT? The same deal there. Because Antorus is pretty fucking big. If that was there and the Draenei didn't go, what's that big thing? I wonder who built that. Then I'd be very concerned about their intellect.
When rating, here's a Warcraft. Oh my god, this is from 9 days ago. Huh. When raiding Antorus, you can clearly see the difference in architecture and props used for the demonic part of the raid and the titanic part of the Burning Throne. And the presence of the Titan Keepers, too. Did Amenthul use this facility to order the essence of the world souls and make them into the Titans we see today, much like what Sargeras did to Agrimar, or did the Titans simply use the facility to contain Argus, much like they are probably doing with the facilities in Azeroth? Do you see any other use for that? Are they good guys wanting to nurture Argus, and Sargeras just took over that? So I think a lot of this is using what Antorus, and it's why I remember too, it's like using what Antorus literally looks like.
Yeah.
As in, it very much appears that the Legion bit of it stops.
Yeah.
And then you enter like the actual structure that it's built around.
Yeah, the bit at the heart of the world that's all red and shit instead of green. Yeah, but then Sargeras is all red and shit. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know if people really thought of that too hard, but it makes more sense. It makes more sense with how it was visually designed that it was an existing Titan structure. That just doesn't make any sense of how the Draenei existed there and didn't really say much about the Titans at all.
Does? Ish.
No,
I just say that gate and stuff only exists in your fucking Titan land, whatever. Only Titans know about that, not accessible from the surface. Like, it's literally a temple, like, in the heart of the world.
Trying to chill there for fucking tens of thousands of years.
Heart of the world, though.
And we're smart as fuck. No, but the gate was outside, like.
No, but the Antoran Wastes was, like, fucking blasted out of the world. Have you looked in the Antoran Wastes?
Yeah, but you wouldn't build a gate that you couldn't get to.
It was clearly an underground cavern before it was blown out of the planet.
But there's still a big fucking thing sticking out of the land, like. We're definitely just into lore argument time. This is kind of what happens behind the scenes.
No, hang on.
Yeah.
My perception of the Antoran Wastes...
Yeah, it was all fucked up.
...is that it was not normal, like, land. That it was all, like, sort of, Legionish demon land, because Argus, like, when you look at Argus, it's actually fucking exploding.
Yeah, it's literally blowing up.
It's, like, split
Yeah, but you're
apart.
you're thinking about where we go in, which is where the Vindicar blasted a big fucking hole for us to go in, because we couldn't
go in the sewer.
Because we couldn't go in the front door.
Yeah, but that front door only exists in the part of it that was made by the Legion. Where all the Legion's people are going in and using Antorus the Burning Throne. But the actual original core temple complex, which is in at the heart of the world, that's the bit I'm talking about.
I suppose if you're thinking about there's a temple inside and the Legion built shit on top of it to the outside.
That's what I'm talking about.
That would make sense.
So here's what my theory is.
That'll make sense, but also that
my theory is, here's how I don't know if this is just threading a needle, but the way that it works for me is, why do the beings of Azeroth, as intelligent as they are, think about Egwene, think about Kirin Tor, think about like Dalinar, all that. Why do we know anything about Titans? Because we find Uldaman.
Bran digs big hole.
Because Bran Bronzebeard digs holes.
Digs big holes. Good man.
And, you know, there's the very arcane people who know shit.
Yeah.
Now, why does any of that exist? Because the Titans had to do this thing called the Ordering, and it was really important that they did it.
To
now,
capture Azeroth.
The remnants of the Ordering are our evidence for the Titans existing pre it being confirmed to us. Right? Because we find archaeology happens. Yeah. Now, the Draenei had all of that as well. They never had any of that fucking archaeology.
That's the part that I'm like, that is really threading a fucking needle.
No, it isn't.
That the Draenei never decided to dig a hole, like.
No, it isn't. It isn't. Think about what the deepest hole that we have dug. It's like 20-something kilometers. It's a Soviet bloc, ex-Soviet bloc country, where they dug a big hole, and they couldn't dig the hole anymore because it got so hot that it melted all their drill heads. And there's loads of really good conspiracy theories about it that make for good stories. But here's the point. This temple is at the heart of the world. Draenei ain't getting there. They don't have big fucking hole diggers in that sense. Yeah. Right? And here's my premise. Azeroth was fucked. Right? Old gods and everything. Argus was never fucked. No old gods. Therefore, Titans didn't need to do anything. Build temple, round thing, all good. Whenever they hit Azeroth, though, they do the basics there. Because it's evident that Aman'Thul isn't just like, wake up now! And then it appears. Evidently, there's a longer process in this. So, that's basically what I'm trying to get at. That Azeroth was turbo fucked. Almost full void corruption, which would kind of make sense given the Black Empire stuff. Titans are basically, from their perspective, Azeroth is in A&E, and they need to pump all the drugs into her that they can.
So basically, Azeroth is a house that's been wrecked, and they had to fucking redo the walls.
Well, they had to reverse corruption, stabilize corruption, hold it at bay, and then infuse. And that's what I'm thinking about the foreshadowing happening now with the Halls of Infusion. I think the Halls of Infusion foreshadowing is very fucking clear. And you continually look at, ley lines being part of a source of power. That takes you to Vakthros. Vakthros, which powers up the...
Back to Karazhan, let's go!
Which powers up the vaults of the Incarnates. And, the power...
Oh, yeah, that it does.
Yeah, I know. It's so esoteric. They didn't really tell that story. Because the way Razagath is just like, doesn't matter if I lose, I've already got my price. And nobody's like,
what's your price?
And then she flaps over to save her boys. So my thought's basically that. Now, here's the bit where I think it kind of works. It means that the Titans did everything that they did so they could undo the corruption, stabilize the planet. And they'll stop at nothing to make sure that happens, including Alkalon and all that shit. That's point number one. Point number two. What do we not want to do? We don't want to just say Aman'Thul is literally evil and will kill you. What do we also not want to do? Say that the Black Empire is perfectly good, happy, and actually had many of great advancements. Because 2 players, that will feel like a rug pull. So what you do is, you have that the Black Empire advancements are that they almost succeeded in their goal with Azeroth. That the world actually was far more imperiled from that sense than anybody thought. And that per their own definition of success, they had made many advancements. Then, from the Titans' perspective, so that keeps the old gods, all those characters, being what they are, about potential, possibility, all that jazz. But for the Titans, it doesn't turn them into cold villains. It turns them into people who have a very fucking clear goal. So for me, that way of Azeroth is a dark heart kept alive. Azeroth is basically almost in a coma while we slowly fix her blood. For 100 or 100,000 years or whatever. That's almost like what it is in my head. Because you look at all these Titan machines. You're like, what are they for? What are they doing? And then you think about the Halls of Infusion. And then you think about the concept and stories known as foreshadowing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's kind of like
that makes sense.
It's not headcanon.
I really fucking hate it though. Mostly because I don't like the medical association to it. I think that's pretty boring as opposed to some cool fantasy shit.
Okay, the cool fantasy shit is going to be them, trying to infuse her with order magic and
Yeah, but
you
as
know-
soon as it's like a blood infusion because she's dying, like fuck up.
No,
She's
it's,
a big, magical, powerful being. Leave her alone.
it's not because she's dying. It's because she's about to be reborn as a god. Almost like imagine if the. Okay, so the background of Warhammer 40k is that the oh my god, the space elves. What are they called? The space elves.
I don't know.
Space elves.
I don't have enough
Do you know
space
what's
in
really
my
annoying?
brain for
I
that.
know the correct lore name of Drakari, which is the dark space elves, but I've forgotten the name of them.
Eldar?
The Eldar, thank you. Like, the Eldar's big civilizational collapse that led to them kind of existing, these, like, arc ships, is they basically all became such terrible, horny degenerates that the chaos, or the actual fucking degenerate energy in their minds spawned a new god into existence that consumed all their souls.
Same.
Great lore. I'm imagining it that Azeroth was, like, in the cusp of that. The Titans arrive, they try to stop it. And the rewriting history and all of that stuff is because they're now trying to keep us in that true timeline where Azeroth isn't that. And Azeroth is going to be one of them. And everything's going to be just as they want it. And that's the new reality. And then we kind of shatter that conspiracy. And that's a way of having it legitimately be a conspiracy, but also not be a fucking humongous rug pull in retcon. Because the bit that I'm concerned about is that they do rug pulls in retcons. So I feel like this is a way of basically not invalidating original, it doesn't invalidate lore, and it keeps all the sides feeling like they should feel to players.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm so bored by that. I think it's because it's so sensible and normal. I'm just like, yeah, I want something interesting. I want something really fucking out there.
Within that, okay, see, for me, that's the backstory. But
Yeah.
within that framework
Yeah.
of the background, we have the big exciting shit happen.
Mm.
So that's kind of where I'm going. I don't know. Chat, what do you think? I should bring up chat.
Yeah. I kind of feel that's all right. I think I think I know why I don't like that. I think it's because it seems to devoid any, forgive the pun, any agency that Azeroth has. Because she's just sleepy.
Well, that's the bit that changes.
Yeah.
For me, then, the point of the story is that she now is having agency, and that's why she's actually speaking to the likes of Anduin.
Yeah.
And whenever we hear that, like, Magni's a Titan pawn, he's not hearing the literal voice. He's hearing, like, feelings and emotions from Azeroth.
He's
Whereas, like,
interpreting wrong.
Anduin's actually hearing a voice.
And everyone else.
And and the other related champions of Azeroth. So for me, that's basically how you thread the needle. Don't fuck up the original lore, and at least give yourself a canvas you can paint on that isn't full of landmines, so you can just focus on being simple and cool with big character moments, which is basically what this franchise is. We're not asking for, we're not asking for War and Peace, Azeroth Edition, or, Uber Turbo depth. We just kind of want simple, good platform for storytelling in a really enjoyable setting where we can have all our own stories, and that's what I want. So
yeah, like Ricardo, we want loads of cool shit, basically.
that's how I was like trying to sort of thread that needle. Yeah. And then, of course, there is the more advanced level, which is going a little bit deeper in the iceberg, which basically is all the stuff I was talking about Constellars with you. Because have you looked at whenever the Titans arrive in Antorus? Ever looked at that? Because the Titans look like Constellars, and now here's my next fucking bit.
Space Boys, big Space Boys.
Oh wait, yeah, I think I included some bits of it in the video that's coming out.
Yeah, there's literally small Space Boys and then big Space Boys.
Yeah, the Titans are the big Space
Titans
Boys.
are big Space
like,
Boys.
look at the artwork for Algalon. It's the one actually that's currently on the Warcraft wiki, and that's official Blizzard art. Look at how Algalon is depicted there, and then look at not the Sargeras cinematic, the cinematic before that. Actually, great. Matt's bringing it up. It's the one where Magni arrives and then busts his fucking nut because he's surrounded by Titans.
Oh, yes. Fuck. I'm gonna go to Obsidian.
Yeah, it's fine. There's by the way, there is a really good
There's an
extension.
Yep. We don't have it installed.
So
here.
there's Algalon.
I'm not showing them just yet because I want to make sure this actually works. Because did you know that fuck computers? Did you know that computers sometimes? Oh, it actually shows the right one.
Don't
Holy
Google Algalon Rule 34. You see, the benefit of my personal laptop not being connected is I have just Googled Algalon Rule 34.
There we go. There's Algalon. There he is. He's some boy. He's stars and shit.
Oh, that is actually Algalon tentacle porning somebody. That's surprising.
I can see that from his voice. Interesting. Let's take a gander at that later. It sounds interesting.
Nah.
No.
Pretty weak. It's just standard fucking waifu hentai.
Ah, shame.
It's not actually Algalon. Wake.
Oh, that sucks.
Okay, so there's what Algalon looks like.
Yeah,
the next thing, so they're looking at that screen.
Yeah.
All right, so if you could bring up the cinematic before the fight with Argus.
Move the camera away because I don't trust computers at all. In the slightest.
Totally fair.
I don't know what you've been doing here, mate. Which one was it?
Just type in Argus cinematic, and it should be one of them. Yeah, there you go. Pre-fight cinematic.
Pre-fight.
God, remember when people used to look at MMO Champion?
Good times.
All right.
I don't know if you have audio. I'll just mute it in.
Audio doesn't matter.
There he is. The
Bust.
man who's a pawn.
Now.
Yo, they're
look at the Titans.
They're star boys.
Now, give her a big slam on the pause there, Buster.
Hello? Good.
So you see the way those Titans look when they are like, okay, number one.
Materializing.
Number one. Look at, that's the world soul of Argus. And what we see there, you might be thinking like, well, why doesn't he look more fell? What I did is I compared the color of Argus's soul there to the creatures of Maldraxxus.
You have a fucking problem.
And the color coming out of the eyes of the skeletons of Maldraxxus is exactly the same color as his world soul.
Death. Lamb.
Now let's not think about why it's red when it crashes into the Shadowlands. Oh, well that's probably just because of Sargeras.
Angry.
Pumped him up with juice.
Did
Interesting. Yeah, Sargeras juices him up. That's how you get the mythic.
So what happens?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the mythic is Sargeras being like, yum yum. So,
because all of the disorder Titan is red stuff. Which is weird.
So, move forward slowly. Okay, slowly from now. I want the first. Is that no? Stop now. Go back a few frames. Gee. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, like, having friends in your life where you can just trust that they know the default YouTube key bindings. So go forward a few frames.
See the fucking default key binding for going back and forward in NPC? It sucks. It's like alt on the left, arrow on the right, fucking balls.
Right. So you see the way we basically have, if you stop 3 more frames forward. 1 more frame back. There we go. Now, look at him. And now look at Algalon. So just, go back a frame. Or go back, yeah.
I closed that.
Well, my point basically is, Blizzard's artwork of Algalon, like, obviously this is an artist's individual style. Yeah. But it's a dude made out of stars.
Yeah, look, there's stars. Star skeleton.
And what are the Titans?
A star. No, it doesn't work.
And then, like, look at even the Titan artwork in Chronicle 1, where they're these, like, big fucking constellation things. So, if you go back to Argus, what I've been wondering is, what the fuck is a Titan? What happens whenever they get to a world soul?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. With 15 stars put together.
There you go. Now, go back
Star
5 seconds.
5 seconds?
You know what that button is?
Yep.
Now, hit the play button. Cease. There we go. So, look at that. World soul. What's it full of? It's full of stars.
Love stars.
Now, compare that world soul. Compare that world soul to the most recent cinematic from Blizzard. Where Azeroth speaks to Anduin.
Yeah.
For all. Is she full of stars? No. So basically, my thesis here is that these starry boys slurp up the juice from whatever a world soul is. They slurp that juice up. Yeah. Like,
ominous orchestral
this
music.
looks like the friggin' Trinity test, or this looks like I mean, it basically looks like, a lot of those shots from Oppenheimer they did with small things to make them look big. Anyway, that does not look like Argus. Argus is full of stars. This is raw fucking pulsating energy. And whenever Argus in 1,000 Years of War, Argus describes himself, like what Illyria sees in the vision in 1,000 Years of War, is straight up a ball of energy. But then we see Argus, he's full of these stars. These stars that also comprise, or also make up, the Titans. And the stuff from Azeroth Ordos. I don't know. Anyway, my point basically is, I think the Titans are trying to turn that into one of them. Now, I don't know whether all of that power gets put into some Starry Boy to make the Starry Boy a Titan, or if they do some transformation thing. But I think that is basically the fucking conspiracy heart thing that Metzen is getting at. That's what I think's going on. Because everyone's trying to claim this as a source of power. And what I will try to really dial into in the video is we see a small example now, and that will be foreshadowing a big example of the same sort of thing. In the same way, the Halls of Infusion and literally the lore of the Forge of Origination is, other than, it resetting the planet, it is stabilizing and boosting the World Soul. That sounds a bit suspicious. So I think that's because we're conspiratorial. So, yeah, like N'Zoth tries to bring Ny'alotha into reality and to remake Azeroth back into the Black Empire by using the Forge and the energy of Azeroth. Of course, we defeat him by using Azeroth energy via the engine of Nalak Shah. But anyway, that's basically like, use energy of Azeroth to remake reality. Who else tried to do that?
No, don't bring him up again. Don't bring up J-Lore. No.
I'm so sorry. Anyway, that's a lot of my lore thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think all of that sounds completely fine. However, there is one part of me that's going, there's going to be some, like, maybe it'll be Terry and Gregory and stuff, maybe some, like, someone who worked in cinematic and worked in the art design will be, like, watching the stream, and they won't be, like, willing to type it, but they'll be standing just a little bit away from their monitor, just screaming, "But artistic liberty! Ah! We just made her look cool!" And that'll disarm it all. But I think that's something that happens, I think, ever. Like, it is very much, it's all art design and cool stuff. I think it could be extrapolated to be like, well, here's their Starry Boys. So, like, Constellars being constructs is ultimately, well, the Titans taking, like, small Constellars. Like you say, as a Constellar is, is it, here's a big soul, we jam it into a Constellar and suddenly it's a Titan? Is that a possibility? Is it all about, like, length of power, or, like, what do we do to Azeroth's soul to mold her to be different? And that's where you get into, like, the personality changing stuff that I think is actually characterly interesting. Character-wise interesting. If you're sat there talking about, like, how cool is it if Azeroth has darkness because the void infused her a little bit, so she's got these, like, different aspects of her talking. And what's the point of the story? It's to bring all six. It's basically this makes 6 Azeroth personalities and combine them into one that's, like, perfect in the end, because we're giving her all the different the 6 different forces put together, which is where, like, a lot of my thought happens for where it goes. The Titan conspiracy is fairly obvious, and, like, I don't really think the mechanics matter super much, but it's super mega obvious that the plan is she's in a big box and we're going to make her do what we want her to do. That's it. Through jamming her full of drugs. Like,
this world is a prison, and I will set us all free.
That if they try to connect Sylvanas' line to Azeroth literally being imprisoned, I will seriously, literally, publicly tweet everything I know about them that's awful. Because that's fucking terrible.
Wait, what do you know about them that's awful? About who that's awful?
Nothing to mind. But honestly,
are you secretly running a spy agency?
No, honestly, it's just that line, right? So,
what is to come?
I'm fine with foreshadowing, and I'm fine with leaving breadcrumbs, and I'm fine with taking those breadcrumbs forward. But what I really kind of fucking stand is just, like, what happens all the time in their story, or happened all the time, was the amount of square peg round hole they did with whispers and quotes really tilted me the wrong fucking way. Because if she says the world is a prison and she means it literally, as opposed to what she meant, which was so evident through all of the cinematics and Shadowlands, and then in the fucking book about her, which was metaphorically a prison because she wanted to be free and she wanted the afterlife and all that stuff.
Matt.
Like, if they take that line and say, oh, it was actually about Azeroth being imprisoned, then they are fucking cowardly hacks.
I need to get you an image right now that the stream can see. How do I best do this?
Just open Notion.
Okay. Take it to Notion. I will just put it in a new one called Foo.
Foo. Is in Foo Bar?
Yeah, no. This is the
can't see this just yet. Okay. See you later, everyone.
This is the final.
Bye. I'm not fucking doing this anymore.
This is the final shot from the most recent June trailer.
I'm unironically going to BRB a few minutes or a minute, but fuck that. What is to come?
The Chockler has the sigils.
I'm gonna start my own writing school, right? And I don't have an awful lot of experience writing.
This
very much,
is
right?
fine for Dune.
Yeah, but I'm gonna start a whole new era of writing, right? You know the way it happens where there's like different techniques and different things learned in the same way that we were complaining about MBAs recently, and it's like this whole business school and whole like law of it. I'm gonna start this whole new fucking writing school, and I'm gonna take over the world of writing. And I'm gonna say, if you ever have shit like you're not prepared for what is to come in your trailer, you get shot. It might only be a rubber bullet, but you're still getting shot for doing that, because that kind of vague nonsense is so tilting, like so fucking tilting.
You see, what you need to do is know their buttons and then press them.
Fuck you.
Yeah, whenever I watched that trailer for June, I had a moment. I had a moment with "You are not prepared for what is to come," and it's the final line from the trailer. Oh man, it absolutely slew me. So yeah, anyway, I guess there's this whole like this world is a prison. Okay. Sorry, the whole Last Titan thing. Just so that you actually are aware of the Last Titan, it is because when you look at the logo for our next expansion, you see there are these two rings surrounding this golden glowy thing. And I think it's very obvious the golden glowy thing is the World Soul of Azeroth. You then look at those two sort of discs, those rings, sorry, that are around her. They're the exact same. They have matching runes with the rings that are around the incarnates. Whenever the incarnates are in their prison in the vault of the incarnates, right? So that's pretty fun. And it's basically what got me thinking about all of this. The next lore thing that... oh yeah, sorry, I think I'm still in like mini screen, and that's a screenshot from June that triggered me because of Shadowlands. The next like lore thing that I want to investigate, is... There he is, he's back. Oh dear, he's got a gun. He's pointing it at my face.
I've calmed down.
Please shoot. Anyway.
I'm no longer upset.
Yes, Matt has respawned. What's the other thing? Yeah, right. The Tomb of Sargeras, also known as the Temple of the Moon, where Egwene says that there's some powerful shit down there. We don't know what it is. Now that's interesting because that area is where the Battle of Catanth happened. And is it the Blade of Catanth? Basically, Catanth is then referenced again. Jared's theory is that Catanth might actually be the original body of Xalatath, the old god. That she actually could be under the Temple of the Moon. Which would then... Temple of the Moon is the Tomb of Sargeras, the third raid that we do in the Legion expansion. So the thought then is... Because, look, you go into the Tomb of Sargeras, and suddenly you're in a Titan complex. When you fight the Maiden, and you're going down to fight the Avatar, and it's Titan stuff. And you're very much like, what?
Yeah, because the Temple of the Moon was a Titan temple that was then repurposed to be a place of worship for Elune by the Night Elves. Because they did a lot of that shit. That's the one thing that I was talking earlier about how the Draenei don't seem to know shit about the Titans, but the what are it called? The Night Elves actually did a lot of like basic Titan archaeology back in the day, because that's where their name came from. Like Darnassion came from Titan leftovers. That's probably not canon anymore if they were to write it again, but that's literally the case. A lot of Darnassion and stuff.
Wow, so their language is actually Titan derived.
Yeah. Yeah, because they found it in a lot of Titan ruins and stuff. So, yeah. Like, it's kind of the reason why, if you like, the Emerald Dream has a lot of like the Titan-esque stuff in it.
That's because that's the gardened part of the natural wilds, basically.
Yeah, but it's the reason it's the same part of the same as the temple in Val'sharah. The temple there. It's similar architecture because it's all derived from the same stuff. It's all derived from the same stuff.
So yeah, basically there's questions as to what's going on there. I just need to go back and do that raid and have a look around. Though the fallen avatar is trapped in Titan machinery?
Yeah.
Who put him there?
Egwin.
Oh, Egwin, of course. Oh. Yeah, and then when Gul'dan arrives, he doesn't actually reach the avatar, does he?
No, because
he gets ripped up by demons way earlier.
Yes. He gets killed on the way in.
Yeah.
He gets killed on the way in.
But the thing is, whatever's there, the Titan machinery imprisoning the Avatar of Sargeras, wasn't built for that purpose. They didn't know they're like, in thousands of years, the fallen Avatar will be here, and we'll make this boss encounter room.
There's a decent chance that, like, if you wanted to explain in a way that's not that, you could talk about, like, Egwin working with the Titan. What was the lady's name? The one who was half fell. There's a decent chance that Egwin walked in and went, fucking hell, I have this body, you wouldn't help me hide it here. And she goes, I've got just a thing for you, don't worry. So there's a little bit of that possibility where, you know, Egwin maybe changed stuff around there, but there is a lot of way for them to contrive and connect this shit, I think.
I have found a 7-year-old Reddit post that links to a patch 7.2.5 interview with Morgan Day. That's the time I talked to Morgan.
We're going into the ancient stuff now, the ancient teachings.
And this is all about Cthulhu.
I should swear less. That's fine. It's unlisted pod.
So, Morgan Day said the Tomb of Sargeras is a Titan prison. And I think this lore thread is trying to, like... Oh my god, their TLDR is that a dead Elune is locked away in a Titan facility. So, considering Elune is talking through Tyrande, no.
Necromancy's real.
But I think that's a cool theory, nonetheless. So, fair play, user Cranes on Reddit 7 years ago. I think he made a banging post. Obviously, it's not Elune.
Bang its fucking head in the rocks.
But it's something. So I don't know. I wonder. I may be thinking sort of original body of Elune of Xal'atath or something.
Everything is a Titan prison. You are a Titan prison.
So their theory, right, is given that there's a big battle at the tomb's location. Quote from Xal'atath: "I don't believe these lands have seen such carnage since the Battle of Cthulhu such a long time ago. It was a place used by the Night Elves to commune with Elune. Xal'atath can make the Shadow Priests suicide themselves to Elune." What's the framing of that? You know, whenever the Shadow Priest is able to click on the little Moonwell thing. And
what's the framing of that?
I forget.
The framing of that is Xal'atath going, Lamal, there's some Elune power here, give it a wee suck there, and then you die.
Cool.
Actually, literally, it's that. She's laughing about Elune, going, there's a wee bit of a power left, don't have a wee taste.
Xal'atath calls Elune an upstart goddess in 7.2. Given it was a place of power that drew attention to the Black Empire, then the trolls, then the elves, only to serve as the Tomb of Sargeras, and it
was a place of power that drew Black Empire, so it must have been, so it was important before the Titans arrived then.
Shit. Important before the Titans are, so maybe
another fissure or something.
Maybe it's another fissure, so maybe that's why Xal'atath is there, but Xal'atath ain't the thing of power. It's just the reason why she's there, and maybe her body is still down there. Hence why Morgan Day's right when he calls it a Titan prison. Yes!
Except, and this is where we get to the
Love
part
this
that's
shit.
like, I actually, It annoys me because
It really gives me a headache,
it
though.
feels like it's not a retcon in any capacity, but it feels like they're square peg round hole, because if they try to tell me that when they made the Tomb of Sargeras and Legion, they actually planned it to be Xal'atath's body that they were going to use in Midnight, I would call them liars.
Okay.
And that's the kind of part that bugs me, where it's like
here's the thing,
you leave so much open that you can kind of fit in everything all over the place. And to me, I'm like, I get it,
But that's literally what FF14 does, and you praise it.
Then I guess it's about feeling like.
Yeah.
I guess about the
thing with
execution.
14. They've bang on, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because they've continually said, like, no, we didn't plan a shit.
Oh, they say it all the time. But at the same time, you hear the fucking Morse code at the end of the Crystal Tower after Endwalker. You're like, yes, let's go.
And the whole thing there is they are smart with pulling their threads forward.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to be okay with Blizzard using things in a way where, they just left a thread.
Yeah. So I actually know the difference is. The difference in my head is how dumb characters feel. Because if I talk about the Crystal Tower example and how there's Morse code that ultimately is a message that is meaningful a billion expansions later, that feels like they made a cute little thing. Whereas in WoW, it feels like you're sat there and everyone's in the Tomb of Sargeras. We kill the fallen avatar. We are there with some of the most brilliant characters of all time. They have magical powers where they're like, I can fucking reach into space in my brain. I can like feel the magic around me. And it's all like the fantasy logic of like soft magic. So if it turns out, if we go back to the Tomb of Sargeras and go, oh fuck, 2 feet under where the avatar was prisoned, there's actually an old god body. I would say, what? Because you think about it in the context.
I wouldn't say full body.
Yeah, but like you think about it in the context of a Sharge, and a Sharge's heart is locked in a vault 2 billion feet beneath Pandaria, and it fucking wrecks the place. So it has these like massive implications on the people. But then you go and no one noticed that there's somehow a second part of this. No one ever like thought about, well, the Avatar wasn't here, so what was this originally for? It's the problem of having really smart characters a lot of the time.
Yeah,
and them being really dumb. And it's half of what annoys me about Dragonflight as well. Why are they going, the O-Stones will give us back the power? You're like, could you explain your logic? Because you got the power from Tyr and the Keepers going, ba-boom. The O-Stones are symbolic. So why don't you, like, if Alexstrasza had said, we don't know how to get our powers back, but we do know that the O-Stones is a symbol. So
yeah,
because the thing is, we get all the O-Stones lit. The mother O-Stone doesn't light up. She goes, oh shit, we don't know what to do. Get Tyr. If she had said, right, from the start, we need to get Tyr back because he's the boy who gave us the juice. We need our dealer back. We need to bust him out. But we need to remember our purpose. And if we can remember our purpose and get Tyr back, then maybe we'll know a way. But everything framed like, it was all framed to me like, if we turn on the O-Stones, we'll have our eye glow back. And then that got abandoned a little bit. So there's a lot of it is like a little bit of it's that. It's just every time they go, and this was actually this in my head, it's because I'm going, bro, there were like 3 10,000-year-old like Giga Wizards in this room. How did everyone fail their perception checks? Like,
why do smart characters not get written as if they're smart? Because the most that we get from a smart character is someone saying, I'm going to go do some research, like Khadgar.
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's like, it's even the noticing things. Because you think of it in the magic sense. If someone's down the list, because obviously like Velen was there for Kil'jaeden's death. If you're trying to tell me there is a little bit of old god flesh anywhere in that room, and Velen didn't feel it, as Void, the antithesis of light, I'd be concerned as hell. Like, and that's the part that I guess bugs me a little bit about that specifically, because I'm perfectly fine with him going, and there was this had a secondary feature the whole time, like Uldaman as an example. I'm not sitting going, how did no one know that the fucking discs of Tyr were in Uldaman? Because that was like, they went, yeah, there's discs in this other room you didn't go into because you didn't see it. but this guy knew they were there, so he went and got them. You're like, sound perfect. That's great. That's wonderful. I don't even mind like there's no Dragon Isles. We don't know the Dragon Isles. They're introduced. You go, well, the conceit is that they're introduced. And you go, well, did no one fly over? You're like, fuck it, whatever. But it's like, there's some things that feel fine to go, whatever, under a lot of conceits. And then there's some stuff where it's like, this sacred ancient magic land was actually more super ancient magic than you ever thought. And you go, but we were here with loads of magic people. And it's very specific. And I know I'm kind of like I'll specifically have issues that other people won't have. So there's a little bit of me like almost being egotistical and pointing at that specific example. But it is just like, man, you can. There's probably ways around it, but it always feels like I want them to avoid contrivances for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want them to stop putting in contrivances for the sake of connecting it to old things. Because I would be more than happy for them to say, and there was a land shrouded in, we can't say Mist Pandaria, there was a land shrouded in fog, that'll do, over there, and no one ever saw it because it's magically hidden. And there was a reason all the magic scouring was like deflected, etc., whatever. It's extremely powerful magic. And there's an old god body hidden there. And it's under such powerful Titan protection that we couldn't sense it. If they did that, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because there's no contrivance. It's just, here's a new thing. And you go, okay, new thing, fine. But it's as soon as they turn around and go, you actually didn't smell the rotting old god under your feet. And you go, fuck up.
Well, if you were doing that, I think what you would say, for the sake of Xal'atath, is she was mostly killed and consumed by other old gods. The thing that's actually beneath there is something different that she wanted. The reason why we didn't see all of the Xal'atath stuff is because she is dead. And, there's no heart there, which makes sense because it was trapped in the blade. Therefore, the blade is where her essence operated from. And, of course, wreaked havoc across the aeons.